Hello everyone, here is your answer section for chapter 9. In this section problem we needed to calculate the average sentiment of blocks of text for a large corpus and then compare the sentiment between two corpi, that's the plural, the average sentiment of each type between two blocks of text. I was alluding to you that once you can do this kind of stuff, you might be able to do something like a Twitter analysis, where you extract Twitter feeds or people's, likes and dislikes to responses, so on and so forth, from Twitter hashtags and from people even, or accounts rather. So I'm going to use the Gutenberg text because that's how I've shown you guys how to do most of this before. But you can take any two pieces of text if you guys like and split it into blocks in your own way. So please don't be limited to this type of text. So what you then need to do is, conduct the sentiment analysis and then run an averaging of all of the different sentiments per block. So we get like an overall sentiment analysis from each piece. And then we, compare the two. So we wanted to create a function for that so we don't run the same code twice. And then, store the output of that. So what we need to do first is you need to get these two functions imported, of course, because you need to do your sentiment analysis and you want to calculate a mean. And then I am also going to be importing the Gutenberg corpus, because that's what I'm going to show it to you in. So the first thing I do is I could probably move this to the bottom here. It might be better coding practice, but I created, this is just creating the sentiment analysis object that we're then going to call the function for. This is the polarity scores function from the slides. So here's the function that I created. I created a sentiment analyze function that takes in a corpus. It initializes a sentiment dictionary. I had no kind of post hoc or before the fact that this is what the features of the sentiment dictionary look like, so I hard coded this. However, you could do an automated thing where that I could show that you could there's like many ways to create your sentiment dictionary. I'm just creating it like this because it's simple and you can hard code it. If you figure out a clever way to automate it so that it takes in any type of dictionary for this, that extra points for you. Next, I extract the corpus itself. I get the raw text for whatever the corpus I'm passing through this function is. And my splitting technique is the double line break. You can build your own kind of splitting techniques. You can make it more refined. I'm just doing this simple way to show you that you can. This is basically the simplest way of breaking your information up. If you want better information, more refined, do line by line, do person by person. You can think of many different ways of making your analysis even more get stronger numbers that make it more clear what's going on. So then, corp is probably not the best variable name. You can maybe think of it like a stanza or a section. So I'm saying for each element of this corpus that has been split from this line break, strip some information from it. So this is some parsing. You can maybe remove all special characters. I check to make sure that it's not an empty element because I don't know, there's nothing in there or something. I then run the sentiment analysis on this. This is how we get the dictionary that has neutral, negative, compound, and positive. And then I append all of those values to our initialized sentiment dictionary. So then one value goes in here, 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 here. And then I continue to the next. So eventually this becomes a large list of values that show, is it negative, neutral, positive, but as a floating point between 0 and 1. Once it goes through the entire corpus, I then run through each sentiment and change the list value into the average of all of that entire list. So I bring up, this is the list of values, and I calculate the mean for it. And then I return this dictionary to the user, who can save it as a dictionary for later. Okay? So then all we have to do now is pass in the Gutenberg text. Okay? So because it's all in here, how we do that. So we just give it the name of of which one we want. And I asked for Caesar and Macbeth. And I created 2 different sentiment dictionaries. And this is how we're going to compare the 2 valence measurements, the means of these 2 dictionaries. I print this just for visibility, so it's easier, but I go through I called it Hamlet Dictionary. Okay, this is now Caesar. I was looking at Hamlet before, I'm like, Caesar might be more interesting. So I'm just replacing that there. So I go through just one of these dictionaries because they both have the same key value pairings. And I have the key here for the Caesar dictionary. I'm displaying what sentiment it is. I'm giving the Caesar's valence score, the average score. And then I'm using that same key for the other dictionary, the Macbeth dictionary, because they have the same key value pairs, and that will give you different numbers. That will give you the numbers for Caesar and Macbeth. You can subtract the 2 if you want by seeing the general difference by doing this, object, cent, and we'll say difference. Okay, and when we print this, what will happen? There we go. How a small error, but don't worry about that. You shouldn't have that issue. So we have the numbers here. They're a little big, but we can think of ways that make them better. And we have the average differences. So in this analysis, the way I built this, the differences are very small between the 2. So maybe that means, although these 2, positive and compound, are higher in Caesar, and neutral and negative are higher in Macbeth. So maybe that's what we can take from this analysis. However, we might want to make these numbers more pronounced and strong. So that's what I was talking about with regards to like how you can refine your analysis and make it better. And that degree of sophistication is where like eventually you can start to, think of looking into academic publications and journals to find the best methods or the current methods that they use in order to do this kind of stuff. Medium blog posts as well, all that kind of stuff. All right, guys, with that, we are going to end our Chapter 9 problem section. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.